You're now watching The Franchise on the DML Network.
Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Expert, and we got another episode of The Franchise. That's me. That's right. The draft is over. We're going to go through picks 1 through 32, talk to the fellas. Was it a reach? Did you get a good selection? Of course, we're going to give out a couple awards. The Cosby and the Stretch will come up on the show. But we got some new guys on the show as the homie Taz is traveling. So we got the OG in the building. You know him from Walk the Line. It's Chris Murray. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, Expert, man? Honor to be here, man. Ready to dive into these picks. Let's talk about who we think Cosby and who was in stretching.
Yeah, no doubt. Always good to have the OG on the show. Y'all make sure y'all check out his show, Walk the Line. Throughout the years, he picks winners and losers, who's going to get upset, who's playing well, and give you those Vegas picks. And I got another guy on the show that, we just have been so blessed to have this guy a part of the Dynasty. He works his tail off, does so many things for us here in the background as well as jumping on shows. It's the host of Numbers Don't Lie. It's the Bus. What's going on, Bus?
What's going on, man? Let's get it rolling.
No doubt. Appreciate you jumping on the show. And let's jump right into it. Pick number 1 on the board. And it's the Miami Dolphins. And he goes quarterback here, Gilbert Reeves. And guys, y'all going to see some footage from Gilbert here going to the Miami Dolphins that we have got from his college days. And Tightwork needed to get him a quarterback as he had that aging Russell Wilson kind of in that backfield. And he had to go get somebody to kind of take the reins. And he gets a guy that can not only beat you with his arm, but he will take off on you in a heartbeat. And Bus, is this the piece that Tightwork needed to kind of vault these Miami Dolphins maybe to that Super Bowl that he's looking to get?
Man, this could be the piece, but I think, later on he's going to have to address some other positions to get Gilbert Reeves some help as far as like helping him, make reads and stay in the pocket or whatever. But Gilbert Reeves is a very, good quarterback. He started there, but I think he's going to need a little developing as far as his accuracy is concerned. But I mean, he's in the right system. We expect him to run some option plays, some read options. And, Tightwork will get this man, where he needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good when you got a guy like Kenyon Drake in the backfield. That's always been a good piece here for Tightwork. He's got a good wide receiver core that he's going to get to throw to. He's got Devontae Parker. Of course, Josh Doctson is still over there. And then he's got the young guy, Crosby Perkins, who is his burner. So, he's got some pieces around him, but Gilbert Reeves will be a good piece for him. We like that piece. But let's move on. Pick number 2. And this is where it's going to get interesting. The Washington Redskins have the number 2 pick, and he goes and gets a defensive tackle. If you ask me, this is the first stretch pick of the draft, and it comes at number 2. You really settle for a guy like Malik Ellerbe, who, while he has attributes that make him stand out, as you see some of his tape here from the U. But Chris, is this the right pick at 2 to go defensive tackle when there was so much talent on this board?
I'm going to have to say no. The reason why I say no is because it's simple as this, man. He's a D tackle. You really don't want to take a D tackle at number 2 unless it's somebody that's like Aaron Donald, which is, a heck of a player. And like you just mentioned, his attributes really does not stand out that much. Now, under 2 rated moved him to, I believe, the right end position.
Correct.
So I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out. But I definitely think at number 2, with so much talent on the board, with this pick, he should have definitely addressed his offensive line. But, he's the GM of his team, and I want to see, how this guy, his rookie season will turn out to be at that right end position.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing to me is that did he draft him to be a defensive tackle? And then once he got him, realized, okay, this guy can't fit defensive tackle, and now he's kind of having to make that adjustment? Or did he draft him with the intent to put him at defensive end? That's the question we got to find out, because he already has Daron Payne. He already has Jonathan Allen at the defensive tackle position. He's got a young Tim Settle, 328-pound, just giant sitting in there at 6'3". I mean, these are the decisions that when you are at pick 2, you're at pick 2. You cannot miss this pick. This has to be a home run hit for you. And there was some talented offensive linemen. There was some talented defensive guys on this list that we're going to see come up who I thought would have helped the Redskins out a lot more. And this was my pick for the Stretch Armstrong. Now, he didn't win it, but this was my pick for the Stretch Armstrong. And we were torn in the media room, guys, on who should get the Stretch Armstrong Award winner. Now, you're going to see that a little bit later in the draft. But this was experts' pick. But we won't spend much more time because Malik definitely does not deserve it. Let's move on to pick number 3. And we're going to see, if you ask me, this is one of the top 3 picks in this entire draft. This is the cornerback DJ Edmonds that goes to Taz and those Detroit Lions. And we're going to see footage of this kid coming out of Penn State. And you see him attack the football so much in this film. And that's exactly what he did in his first game in the Dynasty when it counted in the regular season. And bust. Edmonds was all over wide receivers in that first game, helping this Lions team versus a very good Cowboys wide receiver core, especially with Meyer out there. What do you like about this kid coming out of Penn State?
Man, I like everything, man. The guy's fast. He can cover. He can come up and make the tackle. I remember a few shows ago, one thing that I stated about him that I didn't like was I really didn't think he had the hands. But he's came out and proven me wrong, because I remember when they played the Bears in the preseason, the Bears gave him his first pick. I mean, I think he still has that ball, but I expect a lot out of DJ Edmonds, and bringing him in allows the Lions to make some moves in the secondary. If you look, he's already moved Slay to the free safety spot, so that means he's really counting on Edmonds and probably Tobar to take over that 1 and 2 spot of the cornerback position. So expect Edmonds to be very stout in the passing game.
Yeah, very good pickup. You're talking a 94 speed, 95 excel guy. The one knock on him for me is that he's 5'10". I wish he was 6 foot 6'1". But he just makes plays, and that's what the kid does, and that's what you want out of a cornerback. And he did it all at Penn State, and he's going to do it here for the Detroit Lions. Good pick here for Taz and the Lions. Next up, we're going to go to pick number 4 here on the board. And, the Broncos have struggled here this cycle. And he felt like his secondary just gave up way too many plays last year. And so he was hoping Edmonds was going to be there when he picked. And Taz picked him 1 pick before, so he has to go with Shedrick Fletcher coming out of the University of Texas. And this is a 6 foot 212 cornerback. And Chris, he's quick development. He does have that 92 speed. He's only got 89 excel. But other than that, this guy attributes across the board look very, very good. Has aggressive play tendency, has a high motor. What'd you like about this kid coming out of Texas?
I thought, man, just showing JB made this pick, and it was pretty much an excellent pick on his part, because sometimes, man, when you enter in these drafts, you as a GM, you will come in with a game plan. You would see certain guys, combines like a wide receiver that had, a crazy speed, acceleration, or whatever, and then you would drift away from your actual game plan. I think that this right here with this pick, JB understands that, number one, most importantly, you have to be able to contend in your division. And he already has, a crazy wide receiver group out there in Kansas City that he has to defend twice a year. Now, with the LA Chargers making a move, bringing in Rashard Bass, he understood that he had to land somebody in this draft that will be able to come out, start day one, and be able to lock up his side of the field. And this right here was an excellent pick. In my opinion, I think that he was the best cornerback in this draft, just flat out, just being honest. Because this is a guy that has some height, has some weight, and he plays zone, he also can man up, and he has speed. Good pick, JB.
Yeah, great pick here by the Broncos. And you talked about Bass coming over there in that division. So he's really got to deal with a really, really fast guy with 99 excel twice a year. So you got to find a guy that has some height to him, that can go up and get the ball with him. Good pick here for JB. And JB's doing a really good job over there in Denver. We just got to see some wins start to pile up for those Broncos. Next up, it's the Buffalo Bills and the homie Jay. And we see our second quarterback come off the board. And, Bus, this is the quarterback coming out of University of Wisconsin, Patrick Wheeler, at 6'3", 230 pounds. This is a pure pocket passer here coming out of Wisconsin. Quick development, 91 throw power. What'd you like about this quarterback going here to Buffalo?
Patrick Wheeler is a very stout and excellent quarterback, man. The thing is, I think the Bills need to find a system that he can excel in. I remember at Wisconsin, the year before, he had Slater, who he could throw the ball to, who's now with the Bengals. So if he can get a guy like that in there and get him comfortable with, the routes and in the playbook, I think Wheeler will be an excellent player for the Bills. But you just got to find that right system for him and get him some help. I think Wheeler will be great.
I got to see Patrick here in the preseason, and he definitely has a cannon. He's got good accuracy. He made a couple iffy throws, but you're going to do that versus the Jacksonville Jaguar defense. But this guy played very, very well. I'm anxious to see how Jay gets this guy moving going forward here in Buffalo, because another guy that's picking in the top 10 usually every single year, got to get it going. Next up, it's the Jets, the JETS's, and we're going to get our first wide receiver, Spencer Deese. And this is a flat-out burner, and there's nobody better to talk about speed wide receivers, especially in that 5'10" frame, than the OG Chris Murray, who loves those little guys. The only other guy I would want to talk about speedster guys under 5'11" would be the co-commish SJ, who made a living in Madden 18 mossing guys with 5'10" wide receivers. What'd you like about Spencer Deese, especially with that 97 acceleration?
Man, the speed and the acceleration, definitely. This is a solid pick because you got Robbie Anderson, who just turned 29. And, you're bringing in a young guy with a 94 speed, 97 acceleration that you don't have to rush into your system. Like, you don't have to come in from the gate and be that number one guy. So you can just work him into the system. You got a veteran wide receiver with Robbie Anderson that knows how to get the job done, that can mentor him and season him. Say about 1-2 seasons in, he should be a guy that should be very dangerous out there in New York, man. But I definitely like that speed and that acceleration. Flat out, man.
Yeah, you better find out where 86 is when he steps on the field. And you better hope he doesn't get caught on a linebacker or a safety, because he's running past those guys, and he's not even going to try. And he just got attributes all over the place. He's got good release. He's got good agility. Definitely has to get that jumping ability up. But at 5'10", that's what you expect from a guy at that height. But great pick here by the Jets. And we've seen some really, really good picks here in the top 6, minus the Redskins. And we're going to talk about this next guy because the Ravens is on the board. And the Ravens go and get a guy that in Jacksonville we were looking at. And we really liked Judah Mills. And so, Bus, this is a guy, quick development. He's got 90 speed, 91 acceleration at strong safety. He's got 82 hit power as well. Is this a cornerstone here now in Baltimore as he tries to find ways to shut teams down while he works on that offense?
Exactly, man. I think with this pick, the Ravens got them the next Ed Reed. And if you remember, he traded 2 safeties before the draft. So of course, this was probably a position that he was looking for, but Judah Mills just really fell in his lap. He's safety, but if you look at his stats and the attributes, he probably could slide down the corner as well. Only thing I wish his zone was a little bit higher than what it was, but that's something that the Ravens can work on, throughout the season. So you got a guy who can play safety or step down to the cornerback position and excel as well. So
yeah, and this is that Byron Jones type of player here that's going to give you some free reign, just like Bus talked about. Safety, corner. He's got 82 man coverage. Definitely will work on that zone coverage, but I'm sure that's not a concern here for Baltimore. And Baltimore had a really, really good draft.
Yeah.
And we're going to see another pick by the Ravens at pick 12, which is going to prove to you why the Redskins should have got the Stretch Armstrong Award. Maybe we could do 1 and 1A. I don't know. Experts are a little salty that the Redskins aren't the Stretch Armstrong winner. I thought I put a good fight up in the media room for it, but you're gonna find out with the Ravens' second pick in the first round why that's the stretch to me. But next up, it's the Packers, and the Packers knew he had to get another offensive lineman. He has one of the best running backs in the NFL, and he had to do something to help that running back make some moves. And so he goes and gets Kendall Everett coming out of Stanford. This is a 6'7", 315-pound left tackle. This is a statue standing out there. But one thing that I love, Chris Murray, is this guy attributes all across the board. You're talking a 92 strength. He's got 83 pass block already, 78 run block, and he's got 81 lead, 81 impact. This is a left tackle that you can work with until high stakes. How important is that to have that guy out there on the left tackle protecting your quarterback, especially when your running game is already good, but now you got to get that passing game going? What'd you like about this kid?
I definitely like you just said, man, he's a statue. But I like the move that Kirk made because everybody knew, that he was going to run the ball last season. So when you stack an 8 in the box, you basically making him one-dimensional, so he has to pass the ball. But outside of his other offensive linemen, no one could protect Aaron Rodgers at all. He was sacked 48 times. So if you were sending multiple blitzes at him, whatever you were doing, you were getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. So you bring this guy in, like you say, 6'7", 92 strength, 83 passing block, 83 passing block power. No matter what side of the ball you put him on, he's going to hold down his spot. So I definitely think that Aaron Rodgers is smiling from ear to ear when they drafted this guy, and it's a solid pick, man. I'm definitely going to be in his DM hoping that he has traded this big guy.
Yeah, great pick here by the Packers, and we're going to keep that same thing going because the Bucs is up next, and he has another great pick. Here's the thing about T-Pain. If T-Pain played half as good as he drafts and does the offseason, T-Pain would have banners in the Dynasty. I mean, this is a guy who is putting time in, getting pieces to improve this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. And Graham Kloffenstein is no different than what he's been doing these past couple drafts. He has been building this offensive line. He has been building good pieces around Archer that he drafted. And he is going to try and get this Bucs team playing well going into high stakes. This is 314, 6'5", 21-year-old rookie bust coming out of LSU. And look at those attributes. What stands out about Graham here?
Graham is a excellent left tackle, man. Coming out of the SEC, he can ball. He has that grit where he can just get out and play. But this is an excellent pick because I think last draft I was expecting the Bucs to go O-line, and he didn't, but he couldn't because he chose the cornerback Griffin Corliss, which is a guy you can't pass up. Exactly. But this is a great pick, but I was really surprised that he went with this pick because of the trades that he made before the draft. So I was like, man, maybe he might go somewhere else. But being that he's going up against the Sack brothers in Atlanta, you had to get in and grab you another O-lineman to solidify the offensive line and protect the quarterback. So great pick by T-Pain, man. I love Graham Kloffenstein.
Yeah, just a great pick. And again, we're going to keep that same energy. Next up is the Titans. And the Titans, as one domino starts falling, you start seeing all these great offensive linemen start coming off the board. And Jakari Toller from the University of Texas is no different. Another 6'5", 308-pound, 22-year-old rookie. And you're going to see some film of him just leading the way with this rushing attack at the University of Texas. And Chris Murray, another guy with attributes already standing out. And the Titans kind of have that same mindset. They got to deal with the sack guys in Jacksonville, in Texas, with the Texans, and then of course with the Colts trying to add some of those pieces as well. What'd you like about this pick of Jakari Toller coming out of Texas here?
This pick right here, I like that. The number one thing that stood out to me was GM Darkness, man, addressing the issue that was at concern. Superstar quarterback Bennett Claybrooks was frustrated. He's flat out frustrated, and he expressed his frustration to the organization that he needed them to start making some moves to protect him. And I think Darkness definitely addressed it, bringing in this guy who already has an 83 pass block, 83 pass blocking power, and a 90 strength. So I like the picks that I'm seeing because it's showing that guys are actually going after what their team needs, you know, and staying away from being distracted from all the extra unnecessary talent. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing in this draft, man. Another solid pick.
Yeah, definitely. Guys are staying away from that sexy pick and going and getting players of need. But you know, we do give awards out on the show. So let's give our first award out before we get to pick number 11. Dion, roll that footage.
As you know, I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, rape.
I gotta mute my mic every time that video comes on. Cause I just die laughing when Bill Cosby poke his head out the door. But the Cosby Award is gonna go to Dallas and HBO. How does he win the Cosby Award, Bus? Tell me how he wins this award.
Man, I really don't know how he wins this award, but it was mind-boggling that he won this award. But I'm gonna let Chris Murray speak on this, man. He may can give us some brighter, a better insight to this than I can.
Man, listen. Look, listen, man.
Let's go over the trade first that gets him the award. So the Cowboys trade away Tyron Smith. Now, Tyron Smith is not a spring chicken. He is old. And when I say he's old, like he in that Adam Vinatieri kind of category, old. And as much as we love T-Pain's draft pick earlier, T-Pain gives up two second round picks and a fourth round pick for Tyron Smith. 2 seconds and a fourth for Tyron Smith.
Yes.
How is this even possible still in the dynasty? Chris Murray, come on, man. You got to explain this to me.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right here, man. And I'm pretty sure that every dynasty user knew what I'm talking about. That guy, Tyron Smith, was in everybody's DM. Everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody's DM. And T-Pain, man, just got hooked onto the bait. Like, I don't understand, like, how can you... Don't get me wrong. He's a hell of an offensive lineman.
No doubt.
Guy is 31 years old. 31 years old. And only has 2 years left on his contract, and he's eating up a lot of cap space for what? Well, you could have took those two. You could have took those two second round draft picks, you know, that you had, and potentially you struck gold in this draft with linemen.
Yeah.
Struck gold in the next draft with it. So that just was mind-boggling. But HBO, man, just put the hook out there and just kept. One thing about HBO is just let me explain something to everybody, man. That dude is consistent. He will be in the
Very.
The back. He be like, I'm taking that T-Pain to shit effort, man. It is what it is.
I'm tired of hearing about it. Just give it to me.
Just send them to me, man. It's all right, man. But it's crazy, though, man. Shout out to HBO, man, for being real consistent, man.
Hey,
Chris Murray said he put his hooks out there, but
this the one thing. This the one thing, man, that had me really like looking at this trade. Like, I wish we had that segment. I know it's for another show, but this is when you put in the WTH.
hit the button, Chris Murray. We got Chris Murray on the show. You know that's his thing. So.
Hey, my man dumped salary on the Bucks. Now that first year he's making 6.89.
Yeah.
Next year it goes to 16.3.
That's just crazy.
Ooh,
that's crazy. Yeah, HBO cleared up some cap space and acquired 2 second round picks and a fourth for a left tackle. Now, let's talk about HBO's pick, because this is where we flip the laughing against T-Pain that HBO gave, and we start laughing at HBO. you go and trade. If you ask me, you trade away probably one of the best wide receivers in a dynasty in Bass, that you just acquired from the Seahawks last year. You send him to the Chargers, and yes, I tried to get Bass. I was in the DM, man. I was giving up everything I could possibly think of in Jacksonville. I was giving away stuff I didn't even own in Jacksonville trying to get Bass. And the Chargers gave him a really good deal. Swapped some picks from that he had got from the Vikings. He gave up Hunter Henry, another old tight end. And so you trade away Bass. Now, when you trade away a wide receiver of Bass's caliber, how do you draft a wide receiver, especially one like Richard Rabe from Nebraska? Now, Bus, I'm not saying that Richard is not a good player, because this is actually a decent wide receiver at 6'5", 232 pounds. I mean, this is a guy that can go get the football. Quick development, 92 jumping ability. He does have 91 excel. I mean, he's got 92 spec catch, 85 catches. I mean, this is a guy with all the attributes you could see as a wide receiver. But is it mind-boggling that you trade away a guy like Bass just to try and draft his replacement, and this guy's nowhere close to Bass?
Right. I mean, I'm not really sure what HBO was trying to, do in that trade. But one thing that I did notice is he made the trade, but he also took on $8 million in salary getting Tyrell Williams. So maybe that's why he dumped some extra salary on the Bucs. But we all know this is kind of like a copycat league. I think what HBO was looking at was how the Giants did with their guy Bowman last year. Big guy.
Okay.
And he's looking at, oh, shoot, I can do the same thing with Richard Rabe. Only thing is, Richard Rabe is a lot slower than Bowman. Right. So maybe that's what HBO was looking at when he drafted this guy. I'm not knocking him on the pick, because I think you got to look at how he's going to have to incorporate this guy in his system. He's not Bass, he's not Myers, so he's not going to run 100 yards down the field every route. So it's HBO's, it's him to get this guy in a situation where he can excel. If he tries to play Rabe like Meyer and Bass, you're going to see that quick development go down to slow. And I don't even think they got slow in this game. It's going to be slow.
Yeah, the only problem is he still thinks he's got Bass out there. I watched part of the first game he played versus the Lions. That's what he tried to do, is just throw the ball down the field. And Edmonds was having none of that in that game. I wish that game wouldn't have desynced. I would love to see how it ended.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't knock the pick, because Richard is a good wide receiver. He's got the attributes to be a good wide receiver. But when you got a guy like Bass, you hold on to that guy, pay him his money, and you got two burners on the outside, especially with Meyer. But enough about HBO. Go ahead, Bus.
Will Ray be on the roster next year?
Man, it's HBO. You never know. There isn't a player in Dallas. There isn't a player in Dallas that has bought a house. They all rent in Dallas, because none of them guys know if they're going to have a job next year. HBO would drop you in week 6 after you caught 4 touchdowns in week 5 just because he saw somebody in free agency that had a cool name or something, or somebody that he knows that person. So
or was fast.
or got one extra speed than you got. So you never know in Dallas. Well, enough about HBO. We've already spent way too much time. Let's move on to the Ravens' second pick. And this is the pick I was talking about, of why pick number 2 is the stretch winner to me. Because Willis Wise, as you're going to see his highlight film here from Texas A&M University, this is 6'3", 307 pounds, quick development with 94 strength and 85 block shed already. This is a better defensive tackle than was picked at number 2. And this guy does nothing but clog the middle and make plays. This is a double team every single time, or he is going to wreak havoc on your run game and your pass game. And Chris Murray, this is why the Redskins pick at 2 was mind-boggling to me, because there was better players coming up in that draft. And we've seen great guys from pick 3 all the way here to pick 11 that could have fit, or pick 12 that could have fit into Washington. But what you like about Willis Wise coming out of A&M?
I don't like nothing, man. So this is my division mate. This is a guy I got to face twice a year. But listen, man, this dude, oh my God, man. this is a guy that you just mentioned. He's going to have to be double teamed. And he's coming into a Baltimore Ravens defensive line that's already stacked.
Yeah.
You know, so he's going to be a nightmare, man. I'm saying that right now. He's going to be a nightmare for guys, for them offensive linemen that want to try to block him. But Bruce, man, he's getting back to what the vibe that I'm getting from this Baltimore Ravens organization is they're trying to get back to that defense that led them to the promised land in 2001, man. And the moves that he's making, these some solid moves. So my Cleveland Browns is definitely at notice, man, watching this dude. This is a big guy, man. Wow.
Yeah, he is huge. Great pick here. Great 2 picks here by the Baltimore Ravens. Definitely Solomon doing some good things. Why did I say Solomon? Solomon's not. He's with the Jets. Great job over there in Baltimore with this first round. He got 2 corner pieces for this football team, and he was already playing well, already being successful. We're going to see the Ravens in the playoffs some more as we get headed to high stakes. Great job by the Ravens. Next up, it's the Dolphins. He has another pick here in the first round. And it's going to be Crosby Perkins. He's going to go get him a wide receiver at 6'1", 190. I know when he saw the combine numbers, he was expecting his Excel to be a little bit faster here, Bus. But you still got 92 speed. He's got 89 catchability. And he's got 82 release. A good pickup here. Did you like the pick at 13, though, Bus? We know you and the homie Tight Work are pretty close. What was Tight saying about this pick?
Actually, Tight wanted to draft Raby at 13, but HBO, messed that up. But maybe I'm thinking he was glad he did. But Perkins is actually a great receiver. I think he comes in with Reeves and they create like a nice 1-2 punch. The good thing is Reeves and Perkins already had that connection because they played together at the Senior Bowl. So they were already, making that connection there. But to come down to Miami, I think those 2 guys will grow together and probably be, some of a top quarterback and a top receiver in the AFC, if not the entire DML league.
Yeah, we're going to find out as we see the Dolphins this year with Jacksonville, how good Crosby Perkins is. And we know how Tight Work gets those guys playing. Excited to see what he can do with that. All right, next up, pick number 14. It's the head commish. And the commish, Dion, felt he needed to go get a quarterback. Matt Ryan is not young. He is on his last leg, probably on his last toe. And so the commish goes out and gets Joey Gill out of Stanford. And Chris Murray, this is the exact opposite of what Matt Ryan is. This is a 6'5", 232-pound burner at quarterback. This is a guy that can move out of the pocket. He's got 81 acceleration. He's going to move around. He's going to use that height and that big, huge arm he's got at 91 throw power and chunk the ball down the field to a guy like Ridley on a consistent basis. Now, we know how rookie quarterbacks are, and they're going to struggle to start. And it's about how can you develop this guy. But is Joey Gill the piece that he needed in Atlanta to get these Falcons back to maybe find a way to get into that wild card spot, Chris Murray?
Yeah, I definitely think he is. The reason why is because you still got Julio Jones out there.
Yeah.
You got Calvin Ridley. You got Devontae Freeman. So this is a guy that brings something different to Atlanta. He's able to do things that Matt Ryan can't do. When the pocket breaks down, he's able to extend plays with his feet. He not giving away no free chicken, but Deion can sprinkle in a little bit of that read option. So it brings a different dynamic to that offense aside of the ball out there in Atlanta. If Deion can figure out how to utilize him the right way, that Atlanta Falcons offense can go up to a whole different level. I'm telling you right now. Because the run game is there.
Yeah.
He got the wide receiver pieces, and he has a solid old line. You put in a quarterback, man, that's a dude there that can pass the ball downfield and also extend plays with his feet. Man, I'm telling you right now, it'll be a problem in Atlanta, but he's got to figure out how to fit him into a system. And the level of patience that needs to be displayed with this guy, because sometimes, like you mentioned, rookie quarterbacks comes into systems and right off the gate, they don't produce, but
Right.
you trade them or they land somewhere else, and the guy got him out there playing like Tom Brady the GOAT, and then you sitting back there in your chair with the grumpy face on, like, why the hell did I trade you? So
Yeah, exactly.
It just depends on the owner, the system. But I think that this guy, man, he can elevate the Atlanta Falcons offense.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Next up, it's the Chicago Bears. All right, Bus, talk to us about a tight. Now, tight ends are not very popular going in the first round. They're just not. We always talk bad about users that draft tight ends, and I'm a little upset that you drafted Mitchell, because he was number 1 on our draft board, as we were expecting him to fall all the way to 31, as nobody else was going to draft him. But the kid out of Pittsburgh, 6'4", 266 with 88 speed at tight end, a star development. What made you have to go and pick this guy here for your tight end?
Well, this was actually a need, with Burton coming in and saying he couldn't play because of a hamstring injury that we don't know how he got it. So we decided to just go away from him and let him hit free agency. And we needed a tight end, man. And we talked to Mike Dicker. Mike Dicker put his stamp on it, which is why you see him wearing his number. And the Bears went on ahead and made that pick in the first round, man. I think Mitchell will be a great asset to the Bears. Yep. And we all know that security blanket that the quarterbacks need. He'll be there for Mitchell Trubisky. So great pick by the Bears.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this guy is he is not a run blocker.
No.
He is a straight pass catching tight end. He is not going to block. He's going to make business decisions and catch the football, and that's what he gets paid to do. But a good pick here by the Bears at pick number 15. Let's move on. Pick 16. It's the Bengals. And guys, it takes all the way to pick 16 before we see a linebacker come off of the board. And it's Franklin Greer, 6'3", 254-pound middle linebacker coming out of Nebraska. And Chris Murray. The linebacking crew in this draft just was not up to par as we've seen in past drafts. But what you like about Franklin Greer here going to the Bengals?
This is a guy that was actually on my draft board. I was hoping that, he was going to land close to me at 21, but he didn't. This is a guy, man, that flat out, can get after the quarterback, and you can utilize him either on the line or he can drop back in the coverage, But right off the gate, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be very dangerous, He's going to come down there, and watching his tape in the preseason, he is a physical player. Like, every time he comes up and tries to make a tackle, it's like he's trying to run through the offensive player, man. So he's going to be that guy out there in Cincinnati that's going to make some noise. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, good pick here for the Bengals. As Greer is going to fit into that system very, very well. Next up, pick number 17 is the Pittsburgh Steelers here. And we see back-to-back linebackers here. And Bus, talk about Kerry Volek.
Kerry Volek is a great player, man. I think a lot of teams passed up on him because when they saw his 40 time, they was thinking he's going to be very, very slow. But if you look at him, he has great acceleration, so he makes up for it, having a low 40 time. Other than that, man, the dude can tackle. He's going to hit you. Great pursuit, and he even has like 71 zone, which I was very surprised of. So this is a guy that the Steelers can actually work on and get his zone up, put him in coverage, and he should be very stout, pairing up with Shazier and other pieces of that defense. So I think Flair has a great pick here.
Yeah, and I'm going to put him on the defensive line at defensive end, just because either you want a fast linebacker or you want guys that are big hitters, and Kerry Volek is definitely a big hitter with that 90 hit power. Yeah, but he's got 84 block shed already, which is why I would put him at defense end and try him out there, kind of be that TJ Watt kind of guy, and see what he can do there. But still a good pick here by King Flair, and Flair picking all the way back at 17. Not because he had a great year, but because he traded. Next up, it's the Cards. And Rich is going to take Latavian Faison. This is the strong safety that I know he had rated very, very high on his board. Felt the Cardinals needed some secondary help and has played very, very well for him in the preseason and in week 1. Chris Murray, what'd you like about this kid here?
Man, this dude right here, I'm just being honest, man. It's like the senior citizen home out there in Arizona. So this guy right here, man, 21. My fault. Sorry about that. He's 22.
Right.
He has some size to him. He has an 87 speed with a 90 acceleration, which I like. He got a 77 zone, 79 man coverage with an 82 hit power. So this is a guy that you can load up in the box, or you can put him in the slot, or that you can utilize him throughout the whole defensive scheme. So I think that, especially with Rich, the type of GM that he is, he's going to figure out how to get top production out of this guy. But I definitely like how he's able to either do zone coverage or man coverage, and he got the 82 hit power at the free safety position. So he definitely can put a lick on somebody.
Yeah, and he's a quick development, so he's going to get some XP, especially on that rookie deal. And he's going to build him up, and he's already playing well for him. Saw a couple highlights of the guy making plays. So it's going to be dangerous if this Cardinal team can turn the corner with some of these old guys getting out the way and getting some youth in there. But we'll see. And we know what type of user skills Rich has over there in Arizona. Will be exciting to see what he can do in that division. Next up, it's an OG here in the Dynasty, and it's the Rams. And man, don't those unis look? I love the old Rams unis. They look so nice. And he's gonna go out and get Franklin Day and Bus. Talk about this linebacker here going here to Los Angeles.
Hey, Franklin Day is a monster, man. He's really identical to the Steelers linebacker that went at 17, Bolick. Right? They're pretty much identical. Earlier I heard you mention you might move Bolick to DN. It's possible, but I'm looking at his power and finesse moves. They're really low.
Right.
I probably would just keep him at the linebacker spot and just build upon his zone, and maybe you get an upgrade in speed or whatever. But with that 87 acceleration, he's going to get to that 79 speed real quick.
Yeah. And
he's going to bring every bit of 256 pounds when he hits you. So hold on to the ball. Make sure your chin strap is tight. He's gonna come get you. So great pick for the Rams.
Yeah, because if this guy hits you, it's a wrap. He's not missing a tackle, and you're gonna know that you got hit by Franklin Day. You're gonna know what number that is. And if you're a running back or a wide receiver, you're looking for this guy before the play starts, because he's taking heads off. Next up is Westside Pop Bleezy and those New York Giants. We're gonna see another offensive lineman come off the board here, and Lucky Frazier. What a name for an offensive lineman. Lucky Frazier coming out of a small college there in Rhode Island. But this is 6'7", 306 pounds. Normal development, but has 89 strength, 78 pass block. Chris Murray, talk about the homie Lucky coming out of Rhode Island.
This is a guy, man, that, from day one, his stats don't stand out that much. But he's a guy that can get the job done. He's one of those guys that if Westside Pablo can, figure out how to get that run game going. What's his name? 23, come high six. He can easily have his stuff up. He's easy to have his stats up. But I definitely like what stands out is the strength. But besides that, man, he's a regular diggler, man. That's it, man. But I like
the Jag. You call him a Jag? He's just a guy.
Yeah, man. But the only thing that stands out to me is the strength. Other than that, he's just a regular guy.
Just a regular guy. I like this. I like this pick here, Puglisi. I expect to see Frazier in that lineup for quite some time. He'll be there through high stakes. Next up, it's the Browns, and let's talk about Blake Mendoza, center. This is our first center coming off the board, coming out of UCLA. And Chris, what made you pick Blake Mendoza? I know you had a need there at center, but what stood out about this guy in his combine? Because his attributes look amazing here for pick 21.
I didn't even want this guy. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was trying to get a linebacker, but the Rams, the Bengals, the Steelers, they snatched everybody up there. My next pick was going to be a wide receiver, which type was snatched up. So I just went down my draft board, seen this guy, look at his combine stats, and I figured that this could be a guy that can fit in our system. He has the 84 run block, which I'm trying to integrate into my game plan now, running the ball a little bit more. 83 pass block finesse, and 80 lead block. So this is a guy that I feel as though that I can use, whether it's him leading for the option or him leading for inside zone, whatever. Like, this is a guy that I think can fit the third system.
Okay, hold on. I'm writing all this down because I got to play the Browns. So you inside zone, option. We're going to run the ball more. I got it. Yeah, because you a pass-heavy kind of user. You love throwing that ball around. So the Browns are going to be a running team. I wrote that down. Free chicken from the OG Chris Murray. All right, next up. We're going to sandwich here the Raiders in between the Browns and the Bears. And the Raiders are going to take another linebacker in Anton Price. So, Bus, talk to me about Anton Price, because another guy, with speed that doesn't really jump out at you, but it's better than the last two linebackers we saw. And can Anton stay at that middle linebacker with that 82 speed, 86 acceleration?
Yeah, I like Anton Price. Really at any, well, I'll say either at the middle or the right. And I mean, his speed isn't as high as we want it, but I think the one attribute that stands out is that 83 zone. So you go in your nickel and in your dime package or whatever, he's that guy who can cover the field. And he's from a small school, man, New Hampshire. So he has a big chip on his shoulder, man, showing that you can go to these small schools and find talent. So Anton Price, I think is a great pick for the Raiders. And it's probably a guy the Bears may try to trade for next season. So I'm just throwing that out there, man. So
and Anton, when he was picked, he felt he was one of the best linebackers on the board. He felt slighted that he got picked way down at 22. He was very, very thankful for the Raiders for selecting him, but he felt he should have gone a lot higher. So you talked about that chip on his shoulder, already coming from a small school, but then not being picked in the top 15 like he felt he was. Will be interesting to see how Anton does there in the black hole with those Raiders. All right, next up, it's the Bus's second pick, and we're gonna get some more footage of Brian McCullers as we have some breaking footage here of this tailback. And Bus, talk to us about picking a running back here. When you already have a guy like Jordan Howard on the roster, you got Tariq Cohen. Did you feel like you needed another, because this is a different type of back than those two guys. This is a bowling ball at 6 feet, 234 pounds coming out of Wisconsin. Did you feel it was just that's the different change of pace? You need a guy that can lower his head and go get you two?
Man, this was this was a security pick. And when I seen him falling, and I know guys didn't really drool over his 40 time, I had a feeling he would fall. So when he was there, I called him up and I was like, hey man, you want to be a Bear? He's like, yeah, let's do it. So I got some backlash from Jordan Howard. Caught him in the training room eating a whole bunch of donuts, but Brian McCullers is that guy because Howard is always injured. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's that guy that's gonna come in. He's gonna start from day one, and he's only 86 speed, but he doesn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think he won the Heisman his last year. So he's a guy that's coming in ready to play. He can pick up the blocks, and he's hoping to learn some things from Jordan Howard, but I don't know how well Howard is going to accept that. Yeah. So he may be on his own, but you got great coaches down there.
You got a great back here. Superstar development. 92 carrying ability. He's got 92 ball carrying vision, 85 trucking, 82 stiff arm, 82 strength. I mean, this is a great pick all the way down at pick 23. I'm sure there are a lot of guys that need a running back that wish they would have picked this guy before you got him, but a good pick. Next up, another pick by the OG Chris Murray. All right, Chris, talk to us about Clay, left outside linebacker that you picked up and felt you needed him there in Cleveland.
Man, I ain't make this pick. This is a CPU pick. I was sitting there going through my draft board, man, and next thing I know, I looked up and this what Madden gave me, you know. But I'm not disappointed at the pick because I think I'm not going to say how I'm going to use him because I'm going to test it out with my week 1 game against the Steelers. But depending on how this guy plays at the position that I put him at, he could possibly, man, be a good guy because my coaching staff out there in Cleveland knows how to, coach up the defensive linemen. So hopefully, he does good in this week 1 matchup, and if he does do good, he can land a spot. If he don't, he getting cut. I ain't even gonna lie. So this time on Cleveland might be cut short.
I will be looking for Clay handy in that free agency market because this guy has potential to step in and play in some certain positions, but we'll let that go. Next up, it's the Chiefs here at pick 25, and it is Sherrod Freeman. This is another big offensive lineman that goes off the board, and I believe he's actually moved him already. Maybe he's going to leave him at right guard, but Freeman coming out of Maryland, 6'5", 300 pounds here. Bus, talk about this young 22-year-old rookie coming out of Maryland.
Sherrod Freeman, I think was a good pick for the Chiefs. He needed to address the offensive line. I think this was more of a secure pick for him. Yeah. After picking the Stretch Armstrong guy last year, I think he wanted to stay away from receivers. But this is a pretty solid pick, and especially for a need. I look for Freeman to come in and possibly, he's going to start right away based on the depth that he has there. And so, I mean, there's really not too much to say about this guy. Great pick. He's going to come in and play, and hopefully he'll have him for all the way up to high stakes, man.
Yep, good pick. Next up, it's the Chargers, and this is a pick here. He got his wide receiver that he wanted in the offseason in Bass. But I am not a fan of Antoine McBean. This is a 24-year-old rookie coming out of Georgia. And there's a reason that you're 24 years old when you graduate college. It's because you're not really good enough to play in the NFL at 21, 22. So you stick around as long as you possibly can and try and build up a highlight tape that guys can get film on you. But Chris Murray, this is a slow wide receiver. Cornerback at 89 speed, 84 acceleration. But he does have great zone and man coverage. Is this a guy that is going to be regulated to playing slot corner here for the Chargers?
Shit, he put him in the slot. I feel sorry for him. Go ahead, you can put him in that slot with the 89 speed, 84 acceleration, and he go up against a guy like John Ross or something, you getting burnt across the field. But I ain't the GM with the owner out there in LA. Like you said, man, this dude is a 24-year-old rookie. This is somebody that you better pray to the man God and hope that he has an amazing season because you're not gonna be able to build this guy up from high stakes. He pretty much will probably be a role player that'll come in, when somebody's tired and need a Gatorade break. But I don't see anything special from this guy. Even though the zone is 83, even though the man coverage is 82, that speed and that acceleration, it's going to take him literally probably 5 seconds to get that 89 speed because that acceleration is at 84. So by the time he gets to the 89, John Ross is getting to 96. So it is what it is. I'm interested in seeing, how Andy Force is going to implicate him into that defensive side of the ball. But I call him the Gatorade guy. That's his name going to be. Gatorade guy.
I promise you, McBean is not playing man coverage on anybody in the Dynasty because he doesn't have the speed to do that. But he does have the zone coverage to sit down in a hard flat or in a hook curl, and he is going to play that very well. So we'll see. Next up, it's the Panthers. Elgin Floyd comes off the board, and this is a wide receiver with 91 speed, 87 acceleration. Bus, talk about Elgin Floyd going here to Carolina.
This was a very surprise pick for me. I was really surprised that he came off the board this early.
Yeah.
Because I had him on my board, but I had him late. Like, I could probably get him in the third round or something. But I mean, out of Ole Miss, Elgin Floyd, he's not bad. I mean, he's a guy that could, come in there and maybe give you 3 or 4 catches. He's not that guy that you can just plug into that number 1 spot, I think. But he'll learn, from other guys that's in Carolina. But I mean, it's a solid pick. But I think he could have got him later. But that's just my opinion.
I think I had him slotted in late 3rd, early 4th round.
Yeah.
But at 6'5", a guy that's got 91 speed at 6'5", who can really jump out the gym. Sometimes guys will take that risk.
Yeah.
And just chunk the ball up to him. I don't think it's a bad pick.
No, it's not.
Just think it could have been a pick that you got maybe in the 2nd round if you wanted to really reach for him. Maybe in the 2nd, or if you had an early 3rd. But still a good pick. We'll see how Elgin Floyd stacks up against everybody else here in the Dynasty. Next up, it's the Seahawks and his pick at 28, and he's going to get Allen Evans. Another tight end is going to go here in the 1st round, and was a little upset the Bus took my tight end, and Allen Evans was our 2nd choice, and then he gets selected here by the Seahawks. And Chris Murray, this is a 6'5", 260 pounds tight end that's coming out of Ole Miss, but he's still got 85 speed, 84 acceleration. Again, not a guy that's going to block for you, but he's a guy that's going to go and get the football. What'd you like about Allen here going to the Seahawks?
Man, Jay and those Seahawks, as you can see last season, that wide receiver that was, I believe, was 6'5" also. He just knew how to get top production out of him. So I'm definitely, when he seen this tight end and his combine, I don't think he knew there was going to be a quick development, which was the reason why he struggled with this pick. But he understood. He's 6'5". I know how to work with them big receivers, so I'm going to bring in a big tight end, take some pressure off of my 6'5" wide receiver, and he struck gold in my opinion. I expect this guy definitely to have an amazing season, man.
Yeah, definitely a good pick here for the Seahawks, going and getting a quick development tight end there at pick 28. Next up, it's the Minnesota Vikings at pick 29, and we get Dawson Roan. And this is a 21-year-old rookie coming out of Notre Dame. And Bus, this is a guy that's already been voted as a captain for this football team. So he has impressed the Minnesota staff. But do you like this wide receiver here stepping in and making an impact here in Minnesota with those attributes?
I think Dawson Roan out of Notre Dame is a pretty solid pick, because when you look at it, he's coming in as a 77 overall. But then when you go a couple picks forward, where we saw Elgin Floyd go to the Panthers at 73, maybe this is a guy that the Panthers should have possibly taken. Being so young, he has time to develop. And he's playing behind Stephon Diggs, but it may be some issues there with Dawson Roan coming in as a captain and Stephon Diggs not being a captain. So I don't know how that chemistry is going to work with those two there, but overall, pretty solid pick for the Vikings.
All right, guys. Next up, it's time to give out the next award, and we've given the Cosby Award away, so we only got one left. So, Dion, roll that footage.
Breaking news. Today, unpredictable events have occurred across the globe. Who has come to save the day for humanity? Who is this mysterious, mighty hero?
Stretch Armstrong.
Your stretchable superhero. Stretch him 4 times his size. He becomes bigger than a building. Tie him into a knot. He always goes back to his original shape. Stretch him again and again. Stretch Armstrong. The return only from character.
Stretch Armstrong.
That's right. Schemer, you are officially the winner of the Stretch Armstrong Award. I want to, start off by saying I did not vote for you getting this award, but you need to change your name in the chat. You get to proudly display that you are the Stretch Armstrong Award winner for picking Walter Harper at pick number 30. And Chris Murray, why is this the Stretch Armstrong Award winner?
Because look at this dude. Like, what the hell? You got 69 men at 70 zone.
That's bad.
68 play recognition, and this dude 23. I can see if he was like 21. What the? Like, I'm confused. Like, what are your plans to do with this guy? Like, because he can't, or he has a 91 speed. So I'm thinking that he possibly is planning on putting him at this 50 position, but he already did that last year with the other rookie. So what do you plan on doing with this guy? Because he can't man up, he can't play zone. Yeah, and his play recognition, he's gonna be on the fucking sideline, guy and the player that's not even on the field. So I just don't understand, man. So I see why he got this stretch on thing with this joint, because this is what. Excuse me, you wild, Mr. Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, Freddie, this is not a great pick. I will say that. It's not a great pick. Walter Harper should not be a first-round draft pick by anybody in the Dynasty. However, it's pick 30, guys. It's not pick 2. It's pick 30. And everyone knows under 2 rated, that's the OG. He got recently promoted to the boardroom. Much respect to under 2 rated, what he's doing, not only in the Dynasty, but helping run the blueprint, doing great things here in the organization. But he picked a Jag at pick 2, guys, and this is pick 30. So, Bus, try to explain this to me. How is this the stretch winner?
Man, I guess I just feel like this is a stretch because looking at some of the guys that came in, that got drafted in the second round, I know I selected a few guys at like 75 overall or whatever. And being that you pick a cornerback 72 overall, like you could at least win another position possibly. But then when we look at, Schemer's picks, I mean, can we label all his picks stretch? Because he made one comment in the chat that y'all might didn't see. He was like, hey, he was in the 5th round. He was like, this is my most important pick. I'm like, dude, in the 5th round? And the dude was like a 68 or 70 overall. So I'm not sure what type of logic or computer or calculator he's using to come up with these picks, but he need to take it back because it's not helping him at all. Hey, what's that calculator we used to use back in high school, man? The TI-83 or whatever. Hey,
that's so funny, dude. I got one of
man.
them. I got my son sitting here in front of me. His TI-85 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Texas Instrument. That's funny. Schemer, you are the Stretch Armstrong winner. Regardless if it was a unanimous decision or not, enough guys voted that you picked a bum at pick 30. So you need to change your name as soon as you realize you are the Stretch Armstrong winner. Next up, pick 31. Last 2 picks in the draft. The 2 Super Bowl contestants. The Jags pick first. Olin Knox, left tackle. And he is not going to play left tackle. He's already been moved. But this is a left tackle that is coming out of Michigan State, 6'6", 313 pounds. And when you're picking at pick 31 or 32, none of the sexy guys are there because people like the Bus and Jay with the Seahawks pick your tight end when it was your turn. All right, Bus, talk to us about Olin Knox coming out of Michigan State.
Man, I think Olin Knox is a great pick. I mean, he helps that O-line down there in Jacksonville, who's down there blocking for my man Leonard Fournette. So this is just another guy who's going to, take that ride with the Jacksonville Jaguars into the playoffs, and maybe they get back to the Super Bowl. This particular Madden, but this goes to show where Schemer picked a 72 overall guy, and you got a 76 overall guy who's probably an immediate starter. So great pick by the Jags, man. I look forward to a man Olin Knox helping that O-line.
All right, last pick of the draft. It's pick 32, and it's the back-to-back Super Bowl champ, Mr. Addy 5 and no Saints. And Brian Ben is the pick at 32. Wide receiver at 6'5", 224 pounds. And Chris Murray, when you're picking at pick 32, it really doesn't matter who you pick at this point because you just hung another banner here in the Dynasty, and that's so important. But talk to us about Brian Ben coming out of Baylor.
This is gonna be a guy, I'm telling you right now, no matter what them attributes say, Eddie's gonna figure out how to utilize him. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's gonna do, man, because right now, just looking at him on paper, he don't stand, nothing strikes my attention that makes him stand out to me. But I'm definitely gonna pay attention to his rookie season because I'm telling you, he's gonna be a guy that's gonna make some noise.
No doubt. All right, guys, a tradition we started last year, last draft is we're going to put up Mr. Irrelevant here, and it's the Saints pick as well, and it's a middle linebacker who got Mr. Irrelevant. Now, we're already past week 4. We're in week 1, and Mr. Lucas Burke, Mr. Irrelevant pick 224, has made the roster. And I'm just going to read off some of his attributes here. This is a guy coming out of Charleston State, 22-year-old rookie. He's 6'2", 238 pounds, 73 speed, 81 acceleration, 79 zone coverage. Is this a guy that makes your roster, Bus?
No, he's not making my roster, and I'm not going to feel sorry for him. I'm just going to tell him, hey, man, it didn't work out. Try for another team, but he's not making my roster. But I mean, the only reason that he may be considered is because he has 79 zone coverage. But if someone I might put out there like in the red zone where he doesn't have a whole lot of field to cover, he's just standing still in one spot.
Yeah. But
I don't even think he'd be on my practice squad, man.
And Addy 5 will find a way to make this guy a top 20 linebacker in the NFL. That's just the type of guy that Addy 5 is. He'll build this guy up just to spite everybody else. Mr. Irrelevant has made the roster there in New Orleans, and nothing more exciting than to go to a team that's won 3 Super Bowls in a row. And so Dynasty, that is the goal for the rest of us, is we got to find a way to not let those Saints hang banner number 4. We got to do it collectively. I tried last year. It was a really, really good Super Bowl. Came down to the very end. Much respect to the homie Addy 5 because he is doing it the right way and leaving it all out on the field. So got to give respect to a guy like Addy 5 who's proven it. A guy that was considered a choke guy in the last Madden has stamped his legacy here in Madden 19, and we'll see what happens going forward. All right, guys. That is pick 1 through 32 here in the Dynasty. I can't thank my 2 co-hosts enough, the Bus and Chris Murray, jumping on, guys. All right, Bus, you got anything for the Dynasty before we get out of here?
Oh, man. Hey, man, the season started. Let's keep it going, man. Everybody's striving to get to high stakes and win some banners. So love the league, man. Everybody just keep supporting each other, man, and making the DML the best there is and the best there was.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, OG Chris Murray, anything coming out of Cleveland you got for the Dynasty?
Man, nothing special, man. We just trying to compete. That's it. And take it easy on my Browns this season, man. We ain't nothing special going on.
Yeah, we'll take it easy as long as they're not on the schedule. But as soon as we see them across the board on the schedule, there'll be no taking it easy on those guys. Don't let him fool you because as soon as you blink your eye, John Ross is in the end zone behind your whole secondary. Yeah, you've been here way too long, Chris Murray, to pull the wool over people's eyes. We expect those Cleveland Browns to be balling. Last but not least, we got to thank the guy that's always on the backside, taking care of all these graphics, all the transitions, all these beautiful things that you see here on the YouTube channel. Shout out to the homie Nasty Noob, doing great things as our producer. We appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and then turn on notifications so you know when we got new content coming out. Make sure you stay tuned. Numbers Don't Lie will be out this year with the homie Bus. You will also see Walk the Line. We'll be back. I believe episode 1 will be out here very, very soon with the OG Chris Murray. And you may see some bye weeks with your homie Expert, but we'll see. Make sure you tune in to everything. It's the DML Network. I'm your boy Expert, and we out.
The Dynasty Madden League grind in 365.